Good morning, everybody, or at least it's morning for me. Welcome to today's video where we're going to watch a fellow content creator, Perry Jungle. If you guys don't know who Perry Jungle is, he is a fantastic jungle content creator and coach. Today, we did this segment yesterday on stream, so I've seen this game, but I'm going to be honest, I don't remember a whole lot of details. But we're just going to watch this game. He doesn't commentate this game. A lot of people in Twitch chat found it helpful yesterday when we went through and explained why he moved where he moved. We'll pause the video. I'll ask you guys what you would do if you were Perry. I'll tell you what I would do. We'll compare notes to what he does, and we'll go from there. So let's hop in.
Yo guys, it's Perry. Today we're doing some Jarvan gameplay where I'm fully muted and I have no camera. Here's the thing, guys. Since I'm grinding the top 10, I am going to be doing a lot of no mic, no cam streams. I'm actually around 1400 LP.
We're getting sweaty. We're getting sweaty.
Now. Guys.
All right, so Jarvan starts topside level 1. If you look at both team comps here, so it looks like they've got a Syndra mid. Hold on, did he show the teams? I don't know if he showed the teams here. We'll have to wait till he presses tab. But either way, he's got Syndra mid versus Kiana. If you don't know, ranged champions tend to push into melees early game. So he's probably not going to have prio. The jungle matchup, I can tell you because I've seen this, is Jarvan versus Kha'Zix. Jarvan is quite good against Kha'Zix, actually, because if Kha'Zix misuses his jump, Jarvan can put him in a cage. Also, Jarvan is very highly mobile, so he can run away from Kha'Zix, whereas a lot of champions get stuck. In addition, Kha'Zix wants to slow you. Jarvan can just EQ that. Early game, though, Kha'Zix, I would say, is favored in the 1v1, but as the game goes on, Jarvan is just a way better team fighter. So he gets chunked to half. He needs to be careful because the enemy top laner is missing here. Enemy jungler, we don't know where they started. We assume it's red. Just because Kha'Zix most likely wants to path down. The enemy top laner is giving him a hard time here. If you are ever in this scenario as a jungle, do not die is your top priority. If you give first blood to the enemy top laner and you set yourself behind 30 seconds and the enemy top laner gets to put a vision ward in your jungle, you completely take yourself out of the game. It's one of the worst things you can do as a jungle. So he's playing this very, very well by not dying quite literally. This is challenger level gameplay. Do not die to anybody. If the enemy jungle comes, notice how he is literally just conceding. You cannot fight somebody tanking wolves or any jungle camp. They're going to passively do anywhere from 100 to 300 damage to you while you're just tanking them, and the enemy champion is attacking you, so you just have to leave. Now, from a game state standpoint, he just gave his top laner a huge advantage because she just got a little bit of an XP lead. Notice how that mid-ranged matchup we talked about, he doesn't have prio, so in this game state, you really don't want to be pathing or crossing river much because you don't have mid-prio. He was planning on pathing bot with his Ahri and Sona. Ahri's got pretty good gank assist with a Jarvan EQ as well, but it looks like, given kind of getting bullied, we're going to go instead for a Raptor first scam. Notice what he doesn't do, though. He does not die. Do not die to these early invades. It is the worst thing you can do. Don't be afraid. You can do this on Udyr too. If you start a clear at like 100 HP, if you smite the big raptor and get level 2, you can oftentimes keep going. We put in the point in Q level 2. We keep it rolling here. Kha'Zix is on a red Krugs start. We know that because he's got 8 CS and he's on his red buff, or his raptors right now as his third camp, so he is pathing down again from a red Krug start. Now, it's interesting seeing Jarvan reset here. I believe the reason Jarvan resets here is because if Kha'Zix moves here to Krugs to Raptors and then comes down and invades Jarvan, knowing that the enemy Teemo bullied the Jarvan, then that means their bot lane, especially with prio, mid having prio, he can't defend anything and he would have died. So instead of dying, what he does here is he resets, gets a longsword, even though ideally he'd want more gold before resetting. He heals to full, and now he's coming down to his red buff to get his level 3. This way, if Kha'Zix is here, he will win the 1v1 because Kha'Zix will be half health without gold spent. Pretty smart play from Perry here. He's essentially protecting himself from the invade and respecting the fact that he does not have prio in either of his bot side lanes here. Good kite here. Nice. If you don't know, your pet does 20 damage times 2 after your last auto attack. So since this smite, put it at 17, and the pet, the first auto attack plus whatever. The last auto attack of the pet was below 20, so he knew he would kill it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Man, I wish Udyr could do that. That's a great gank from Perry there. Udyr cannot do that. You can look for that gank as Udyr because we know Kha'Zix is bot side on bot side crab the way that he pathed down, right? In my opinion, though, I don't know if Udyr can do that. That's a Jarvan thing. That flash EQ is lethal and is one of the best reasons why Jarvan is one of the better junglers in solo queue. So notice what he doesn't do here, Twitch chat. How many of you would have gone and hit jungle camps this entire time? How many of you would have been hitting a crab instead of ganking Syndra there? This guy, instead of doing his jungle camps, he is ganking top first so that way he can come back to his jungle camps later. A good rule of thumb is before you farm, if there are gankable opportunities, you usually want to go for them if it's a very high percentage, 80% or more. This, to me, looks like an 80% chance of getting an assist or a kill. So, yeah, I agree with the decision to come top here. Now, Teemo goes invisible in bushes. I laughed when I first saw this. I actually do remember this. What he's doing, I thought this was troll. This is a Jarvan thing. He has an EQ, so Teemo cannot run to turret without dying. And by holding the Teemo at 100 HP, they can build up a super wave, kill Teemo in the bush, and then crash the super wave, and he loses all those minions. So Teemo is forced to come out of the bush, not to mention just the Meld does a lot of AoE. Notice, again, he is not farming. He is helping his teammate. Helping your teammate not die is a 300 gold swing, right? This is really good. And he even turns a guaranteed kill on Kiana into a kill on the enemy jungler by showing up. This is a huge, huge thing that a lot of people in low elo don't do. I always flame my low elo laners for the exact same thing because it cuts both ways. Good jungle gameplay and good lane gameplay. If there is an active fight, you should, like, that is top priority. Unless it's a completely, you know, lost fight or it's a stupid fight or whatever. So let me ask you, Twitch chat, I guess just YouTube chat now. I pulled my Twitch chat yesterday. A lot of people got this wrong. Why is he farming his Raptors here? Keep in mind, his level 1 Blue, Grump, and Wolves are still alive. He has not touched any of those camps. Why did he go to his Raptors here? I obviously don't know, but I've got my theories. Why do you think we're moving to Raptors here, Twitch chat? If you answered, it's because grubs are coming up in 40 seconds. We're going to set a cross map up to where we can move up to grubs and do the rift grubs. In addition, it sets us up to be bot side for the next 30 seconds. If the Kha'Zix tries to go and force a 3-man dive on our bot lane, because our ADC just died, or our APC, whatever you want to call this, Ari, he will be on his Krugs farming to stop the dive. He'll recall spend gold, and then he can run up and meet the enemy jungler there. By taking the enemy Raptors as well, he knows that the Kha'Zix is going to be forced into a farming position. Kha'Zix cannot do Krugs to Rift Grubs. I mean, he can, but if he does that, he will be permanently behind in experience. He has to go do his level 5 camps, because keep in mind, Kha'Zix started topside and cleared to bot. Your second quadrant, if you don't know, respawns at level 5. Your first quadrant respawns at level 4. These are level 4 Raptors that Perry took. Kha'Zix's level 5 camps are going to be his Wolves and his Grump. Since Kha'Zix just lost a camp, he has to go hit his level 5 camps to have any chance of staying anywhere near this Jarvan in terms of experience. But he is also cross-mapping to set up to go do the Rift Grubs here. Hopefully that all tracked. I would go to Krugs here if I was him. Shame that his bot lane dies here. Yep. He's going to be late to Rift Grubs, but I do think it's correct given he also kind of had a sketchy start. He is prioritizing, if you look in the top left here, you see how this camp is level 4? It's because it's his first quadrant he did. Remember how he reset and ran over to the red or whatever? It's a shame these aren't level 5 camps because they give more experience. But he's doing a great job of recovering. These camps are going to fall over if he clicks on them. See how they're level 1? It's because he's literally not even cleared them this game, which is hilarious. Notice he's not rushing Rift Grubs right now. How many of you guys would respawn, go back to base after those Krugs, and run straight to Rift Grubs and do Rift Grubs first? Who can answer? And let me rewind it to like 5:04. Let me show you the decision as soon as he walks here. Why do you think Jarvan is not doing these rift grubs, Twitch chat? And it's a shame because his little thing is kind of blocking the mini-map down here. That might be just a YouTube thing, though. But the answer is, and my honest answer is, if we look at the map, you guys may not be able to see it because of his icon. The enemy support is missing. Our support is guaranteed bot lane. Anytime you go for rift grubs or any topside objectives, you have to check the minimap for support. Support's roaming is a big thing this season. Since the enemy support right now is off the map, he's saying, I'm going to farm because I'm going to assume I'm a body down. If we take a look top and mid, neither of them have prio, right? Like they could walk to rift grubs, yeah, but their waves haven't crashed into the enemy tower yet, and they're probably going to want to farm minions. Right now, by farming his jungle camps, not only is he not wasting any time by just collecting gold, but he's respecting the fact that the enemy team could have a body up and his laners don't have prio yet. If he literally just burns 20 to 30 seconds here, they'll figure out A, where Lulu moves, B, if Kha'Zix is on Dragon, because see how his laners are moving. I don't know if you can see again because of his icon. His bot lane just crashed and they're moving towards the dragon, right? So they're about to get that information. Without that information, though, walking to rift grubs is super scary. That's why he's farming here. We still don't see Lulu yet. Both solos are missing. Okay, Lulu just showed back on the tri-ward. So that lets us know, okay, great. That means at worst, top side is going to be a 3v3, jungle versus jungle, top versus top, mid versus mid. Both or all four people bot side or bot side. This is great. He's saying, okay, in his brain, he's finishing off this clear. It takes no time at all to do level 1 camps because they're level 1 camps, and he's already got a pickaxe triple longsword, which is a ton of AD. I wonder what he's building that into, actually. That's got to be like a lethality item, huh? Kha'Zix goes for the crab and then goes into the dragon. This is textbook good jungling, dude, and I am so glad that Perry uploaded this video. How many of you guys go into rift grubs right here, dude? This is the rule of 3-2-1. The rule of 3-2-1 is as follows. If you know where the enemy jungle is, or you have a massive tempo advantage and you don't know what to do first. The enemy jungle camps are alive, your jungle camps are alive, crab is alive, dragon's alive, rift grubs are alive. What do you prioritize? Textbook clean-cut jungling teaches that you first take the enemy jungle camps. You value the enemy jungle camps at 3. Anything in the river, including neutrals, is valued at 2, and anything in your own jungle is valued at 1. So he is starting by taking the enemy junglers camps first before peeling back to the rift grubs. Because if that Kha'Zix comes topside, he will not be able to do the other way around. If he does rift grubs right now, by the time he finishes rift grubs, Kha'Zix will be in his topside jungle to protect his camps. Right now, they're completely open and free. Now, you might be saying, doesn't this expose the rift grubs to getting stolen? Isn't Jarvan just giving away rift grubs here? No, because he's got the tempo advantage. If Kha'Zix comes and contests the rift grubs, he is 2 levels behind and will get completely run over by a Jarvan. He cannot fight this Jarvan. In other words, he's bullying the Kha'Zix. So this is textbook jungling right here. Shout out to Perry for following the rule of 3-2-1, the rule of outer to inner, whatever you call it. There's a lot of language that junglers use for this rule, but textbook jungling right here, dude. He starts with Krugs first because he's hovering for a top gank. He doesn't go to Raptors, even though they're respawning, give or take, at the same time. I think by starting with Krugs, it's also smarter. Krugs are worth more than Raptors. I would much rather take Krugs over Raptors anyway. Pardon me. He's doing a great job pinging. Another thing that we want to talk about is his use of communication because he's pinging a lot. A lot of you low elo junglers are geniuses in your brains, but let me tell you who has no idea where the enemy laner or jungler is. You're laners. You got to communicate that information for it to be valuable a lot of the times. Jarvan has done a great job recovering the early game lead. He is now the same level as the enemy top laner. He jumps on the enemy top, and he's most likely, I was going to say, kite towards top here because he's got top prio but not mid prio if we look at the minimap. Syndra beats his lane there. He goes to the plant. Really good job, this little loop-de-loop maneuver. He still has flash. Nice little E in the back there. His mid gets shut down, so that's kind of spooky. Thankfully, these go uncontested. Pause. How many of you guys go to your Gromp and your Wolves here? See how his Gromp is spawning in 13 seconds? How many of you just farm down to the Dragon? Who can explain to me, or hopefully one of you just can think to yourself, why is Jarvan resetting here? And this is a classic, another jungle fundamental called cross mapping. Whenever you do a neutral or you stay on one side of the map too long, the enemy jungler is going to do the classic thing. Oh, enemy Jarvan's top side. I'm going to go take his bot side camps. I'm a genius jungler. He knows that he just told the enemy top or the enemy team that not only did he stay top side for frickin' forever on those rift grubs, but he also just showed on the map. What he's doing is he's resetting immediately, A, to spend gold because he's got a nice, I think he's got an item spike. Pickaxe plus 1050 is 1850 plus. He's probably got an item spike here. And instead of farming his top side camps, which is the worst thing you can do, he is running straight to his bot side to A, try and catch Kha'Zix, but B, protect his bot side camps. It's really, really smart what he's doing here. Another thing you can easily incorporate into your gameplay. Anytime you do these objectives, think about the opposite side of the map and whether or not you need to protect those camps. See how he sprints here? So he does go for an Eclipse. Okay, interesting. I don't build Eclipse, so I don't know those components. That is a super fast Eclipse, though. I think it's 2,900 gold at 9 minutes. Jeez, dude. He is cooking with peanut oil in terms of tempo this game. And it all comes from taking the enemy jungle camps away, you know. Oftentimes, by pathing correctly, that's what sets up your lead for the rest of the game. So, great job on him. Even though we don't find Kha'Zix invading, this is still 100% correct to start with your bot side first and then path to top, even though it looks wonky. He also gets his item spike. By getting that item spike, it's just put 2 and 2 together here. More damage means faster clears, means the next respawn cycle comes up quicker. By getting the item spike before full clearing, that is the correct way to do it. So pause real quick. There's a word here. We don't have top prio. Our mid is kind of getting solo killed. It's not the end of the world. And the enemy Raptors are coming up. How many of you guys moved to Raptors here? And how many of you guys moved to your jungle? Without me showing you what he does, what would you do? I'll tell you what I'll do. I would never go to the enemy Raptors here, and here's why. Teemo is clearly antsy and trying to play in the river. My mid got solo killed in this last Rift Grub fight, if you guys missed it. And, frankly, Syndra and Kha'Zix can blow somebody up, especially Jarvan, who's pretty... You know, Eclipse is a nice dueling item, but it's a very low health bar item. So, for me, it doesn't make sense to pull any aggressive maneuvers yet. If I had a lot more health, if I had a lot of boots, movement speed, something, I might go for the Raptors, but right now is not it. The other thing that I didn't even think about, dude, Lulu comes mid here. So there it is. There's the Ooga Booga we're afraid of. I didn't even factor in Lulu into my reasoning. But, yeah, there's just a third reason why I would never cross river to the enemy Kha'Zix Raptors here. A lot of you guys might go for those Raptors just because you've got the timer. You have to respect whether or not your laners are winning and whether or not you can survive a burst from the enemy team. It's interesting that he doesn't catch this wave. This is a canyon wave. I talked about this on stream, actually, because I remember this moment. This is a moment where if I'm the Jarvan, I would go catch this wave and tell my mid laner to teleport to the bot lane ward. We know that Kiana's got teleport because he just pressed tabbed and showed it. We've got dead time. In my opinion, it will take me 30 seconds to get bot side. Tell our mid laner to teleport bot, and I'm going to catch this wave and shove the next wave as well. Maybe this is a challenger lobby and this is just too much experience for a mid laner to miss, which is probably the answer. But I still think that Kiana could recover like 500 gold bot lane. I don't know. That's a tough call. They do it the opposite, so they put the mid TP mid to catch the wave and we send the Jarvan bot. But by the time we get down here, this opportunity is fading quickly. And now it's kind of gone, you know. We're not going to beat it up. Notice what he doesn't do, by the way. There's not an EQ flash R or anything stupid. Because A, his laner is walking back to lane, so she's not here for the fight yet. And B, we see the Kha'Zix in the river. So again, no, it's just as much what he's not doing as what he is doing. Don't be the noob that forces a 2v3 when the Kha'Zix is beating your laner here, you know. We're chilling. Not a whole lot going on. This is fine. I've been seeing a lot of Aphelios lately. Stand with me. He's got some inting laners this game, that's for sure. At least in the early game. I think their team comp's kind of nasty, but This early game, his laners certainly are not helping him. That's for sure. Not making it any easier. The flash EQ with the W slow on the back end. It's an interesting gank with dead time. Ultimately, that's not the end of the world. He's waiting for his full cycle to come up. See how his camps are not up for like 30, 40 seconds? Dragon is also coming up in 15 seconds, so he needs to think about whether or not he wants to do that now. If I'm him right now, what makes the most sense, especially with 3 Rift Grubs already, is we full clear the top. See how his topside quadrant's coming up? If you get the first 3 grubs, usually getting the next 3 grubs is really, really good. Kha'Zix's bot side. So these should just be free Rift Grubs. And we know that Kha'Zix's cleared down to bot, which is why we're not rule of 3-2-1-ing here. His camps are coming back up. The enemy Kha'Zix, that is. But without knowing where the enemy mid is, I'm kind of skeeved out. And since 6 Rift Grubs are kind of a win condition, like literally 6 Rift Grubs is so good. 5 Rift Grubs is not as good as 6 and all that. Notice how, again, now that we see that the Kha'Zix commits to the dragon, we're going to take at least one of these camps away. I don't know how fast Jarvan clears. He probably only gets 1 here. He hits it that way. That lets him know that Kha'Zix went towards his red, not towards his mid lane, which is why Jarvan was hovering that. Jarvan beats Kha'Zix to that rotation based off how Kha'Zix played it. So he was trying to see if he could get the gank off. He's sitting on a lot of gold. Sundered Sky, the components are what? Tunneler plus... I can't ever remember, dude. Jarvan builds different items than me. Udyr could build these items, but we've got better options, in my opinion. Rift Herald's coming up in 16 minutes, so I like that he's getting all his bot side camps off the map now. I like that he doesn't waste time walking to mid here, and he instead wastes no time by continuing to farm. By getting all of his camps on cooldown, he's giving himself a complete time to play topside for the next minute. He knows that enemy Kha'Zix Raptors are coming up and all that, so he wants to work his way topside anyway. The other thing that he's thinking about, I'm sure here, is the fact that he's got dead time. So he's got dead time and ultimate flash. His name's Jarvan. This is a great time for him to kind of play the map. There's absolutely no risk for him for messing up a gank right now. Good flash out. Red and white don't fight with Aphelios. If you see Aphelios with red or white guns, he will explode your health bar. Very good flash from Jarvan to respect it. A little bit forced on the gank, but it's okay. They get the Aphelios flash. Jarvan cooldown will be up in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, he just goes and dunks the Aphelios again. Jarvan is really, really good at dealing with ADCs and mages because he puts them in a cage. We're starting the Rift Herald here instead of farming a Wolves or a Gromp. I like that we go for it first. He's staying with his team, holding the cooldown, very smart. It's okay to miss that. It's pretty hard to hit Jarvan EQ at max range like that. If players know what they're doing, they'll juke you usually. Good job on him, though. Kept his teammate alive. He's doing a great job tempoing the map more than anything. The thing that I would give him A+ for is tempoing. Plus, with the way he set up his camps, Raptors to Krug, he's now got a perfect linear clear to bot setup if he wants it. I don't know what his item combine is, but I'm expecting that as soon as he gets his item cost, he'll probably recall. There's 40 seconds on Dragon, so with 40 seconds on Dragon, he's got just enough time to do this camp, reset, spend gold, and make it to Dragon on time. So that's why he's not probably going to go for these Krugs. He says, you know what? We're going to be a little greedy. We're going to choose to be 3 to 4 seconds late, potentially. But he is not farming his Krugs here because he already has enough gold, and he will guaranteed be late to the Dragon if he does not reset right now. How many of you guys farm your Krugs there? He's spending his gold and setting up for the Dragon. Really, really good. And the way that I'm looking at it, too, the enemy team has gotten the first 2 Dragons. It's their win condition. We need to try and burn their win condition if we can. If we take that out of the cards, it becomes very hard for the enemy team to win. Now, the enemy mid dying here, it changes everything. Our Kiana just dies, which means we can no longer contest the Dragon. So he goes straight to the topside objective. And now that the enemy team has most likely started Dragon, he's hovering to see if they can get a mid turret, a gank on mid while the enemy jungler is distracted, a gank on Teemo while they're all bot side. He's just playing the opposite side of the map, kind of waiting for that Kiana to come back up here. I don't know if they actually catch a Teemo. They've all committed to top side if we take a look at the map, the way his team has moved here. So this is not the end of the world. He does end up catching him. Really, really nice. A little Demacia on the rat's face here. Goes straight into the enemy jungler's camps. Notice how he's not taxing his laner. Taxing laners only gets you so far. It's like a band-aid. Good jungling is usually what wins you the majority of your gaming. So he's doing a great job here, continuously taking. Kha'Zix has not gotten a full red cycle in forever. Good EQ blast clone. Really, really good. Barely gets out before that Syndra knockback. Really good timing from him here. Now, if we take a look at the map, we've got a full clear to bot. If you're wondering what the mini-map timers he's using are, those are Porofessor. They are really helpful, by the way. It's just an app you download on Google. Great job from him here. Not a whole lot going on, I imagine. We're just full clearing down. The 20-minute objective is spawning bot side. He may reset here to go back and get boots. I don't know what his boots necessarily look like or what his next target back is. He's choosing to tempo it out and full clear, though, instead of spending gold, which I guess is fine in a winning game state. He already is 2-item Jarvan. He's kind of crazy strong. And now we've full cleared down to the 20-minute objective. So he's doing a great job always of making sure he's on the right side of the map as the contested neutral. Jarvan's E reveals bushes, if you don't know. Jealous that someone like Udyr has to face check and he can just throw an off-screen flag, but A is what it is. This is kind of desperate from them. If you don't know, this 20-minute objective puts a massive debuff. I strongly recommend using Rift Herald for this reason too. You can use it as both an engage and a disengage tool if things go wrong. He's focusing on the smite, doesn't get it. It is A-okay to miss smite. Now let's win the fight. Keep your eye on the prize, Buttercup. Really, really good job. Again, if you don't know, the 20-minute objective puts a huge debuff on the enemy team. In my opinion, if he ends up winning this game, this is where his team wins the game, in my opinion. That was a fantastic turnaround. They've got a nice little Rift Herald push going in. Beautiful. They get the outer turret bot. He resets, goes top. They even find the Syndra top, who should have absolutely reset. Massive 200 gold shutdown to Jarvan. All right, this game. This single last 2 minutes here have turned this game around. And notice how it's not like forced jungling at all, dude. There's no like string theory, gotta farm fucking left-right shark tank in front of us like Skill Cap was saying in that one video, dude. It's methodical, showing up to the right place at the right time, spending your gold, hitting your item spikes, waiting for the right fights. He's even building defensive now. He's not building glass cannon full 1v5 carry god mode. If he's got a Warden's Mail and a glowing moat, he's most likely going Frozen Heart, which is a fantastic purchase option against Aphelios Lulu with a ton of attack speed. I think that Frozen Heart makes a lot of sense, too, to kind of cut off the Kha'Zix burst damage as well. He's dying primarily to Kha'Zix burst. He went Merc Treads not for the resistances, but for the tenacity with Lulu Polymorph and all that. Syndra stun. Even Teemo Blind is affected by Merc Treads and tenacity, so pretty good decision there as well. I like that he's continuing to burn Jin's or the Aphelios' flash for his team. That Aphelios cannot play the game. Every time he's got flash up, Jarvan is dunking him, which is really, really nice. His team kind of fumbles the ball here. I think it's still fine how he played that. 40 seconds on Dragon. He needs to think about when he wants to reset. Good jump from the Kha'Zix. He needs to reset if he's going to get his Frozen Heart in time. Steady says, you know what's more important than a reset is a kill. If you get a kill, it pretty much guarantees the dragon. Nice little canyon on the side there. Teemo is going for the turret. Pretty nice. Instantly resets, or tries to. Realizes he doesn't have enough time. Has to stay on the map. This is Dragon Soul. So the reason he can't reset here is because this is Dragon Soul. If the enemy team starts this dragon, he has to be here. Like if they go for the burn angle, you cannot be in base spending gold right now. Really smart of him, though, to continue farming. He's continuing to stay on the map. Again, Sona needs to reset. He needs to reset. They're not getting off the map because this is the win condition, people. I said this in my last video. Good junglers care about two things: tempo and win condition, tempo and win condition. He just took the enemy win condition after a huge 20-minute Atacon play. Baron's coming up in 25. They've got huge amounts of gold. Notice how he's not farming his jungle camps. This is jungle fundamentals. He is taking the enemy Kazakh's camps first. Then he's going to reset, spend gold, then take his own camps, then get a free Baron. This game is done, packed, and sealed. Big jungle difference this game for sure. I think Kazakh's tried his best. Unfortunately, if I were to rate the Kazakhs, I would say where he lost the game was pathing in the first 10 minutes. He gave Jarvan too much of a tempo lead in a counter matchup. This is a hard matchup for Kazakhs, to my understanding. And you have to prioritize being on time to your camps. In addition, he did a red Krug start against Jarvan. I would have done a Wolves or a Raptor start against Jarvan. As Kazakhs, your job is to scale up. I don't think Kazakhs did a good job this game starting a red start, especially with the enemy Teemo bullying the Jarvan level 1. I would have for sure set myself up for an 8-camp double crab start, and I would have never lost this game. Nice. I'm kind of just like, this game again if his team has a mouse and a keyboard, this game is over. There's no way that his team should fumble this lead at this point. Great job. Notice, I think he's building Spirit Visage second, so it's kind of funny seeing Udyr build the same way as Jarvan. The reason we build Spirit Visage is because we've got a Sona on the team. If you don't know, Spirit Visage amps the value of shielding. Jarvan is a shield champ. Not only does his W give him a shield, his Eclipse gives him a shield, his Sona gives him a shield. Amping the value with the Spirit Visage is a really smart thing to do. Even if they build Serpent's Fang, it would be worth it. Nice job weaving these auto attacks in and saving his R. Really smart not using his ult here and holding the cooldown. Notice with that Frozen Heart and the Spirit Visage shields and the Eclipse, just how durable and tanky the Jarvan is, and just how effective he is now at dealing at the Aphelios, who used to be a giant headache for him. All comes down to itemization, tempoing, XP, keeping your resistances high, kiting well, saving the important cooldown. Holy mel damage. What a champ, dude. He still has ult, so he's not afraid to blow it. I love that he's using it. Again, with Spirit Visage and Asona healing him, he's taking no damage right now. This is hilarious. I usually build Serpent's Fang into Jarvan when I play Udyr for this reason, because Jarvan's shields just get insane if you don't keep them in check. Really good job from his team here, following through. Squad rolls deep, 5 people deep, and this is a nice little GG. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of content, man. I'm going to go ahead and mute or whatever, let this game finish out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out Perry Jungle. He is a fantastic jungle content creator if you guys want to go check him out. He releases good content. If you found this type of educational content useful, though, please let me know. I'd love to do more videos like this. I'm trying to branch out, figure out what works, what doesn't. And, of course, if you guys have any questions, comments, please, if you did make it to this point in the video, just leave a comment, just do anything to boost the algorithm for me. We're trying to get a little bigger than we are, and I need your help more than anything. So thank you guys. See you in the next one, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye.
Dang. Call me so I can make it juicy for you.